We are top on our list of issues we are dealing with prior to 2023 is electoral reform. Yeah. We are very much aware that the electoral playing field is uneven. And if we were to get into 2023 with such an uneven electoral playing field, it would be a waste of time. You know, so we are eager to push for electoral reforms. I mean, we know that yes, change comes through the ballot, but if that ballot, if the player is the referee, he's the judge, he's FIFA, he's CAF, he's everything, then it's not going to work. Unfortunately, that's the situation we have. The terrain is clearly uneven. If you look at the political arrests that are going on in the country, and of course we can't proceed with this program if we don't bemoan the illegal arrest of my friend, brother, and colleague Job Sikala, Godfrey Stolle, and others. It's so uneven. Recently, we had a young man coming out on WhatsApp saying that, you know, when we say down with somebody, we're saying let's kill them, so let's kill Nelson Chamisa and all his children. There is a video clearly saying that. But has the guy been arrested? No, the police are saying we're investigating.
Yeah.
So, and then meanwhile, Hope Chingono, my friend, again was arrested based on a video that had not even been identified or whose details had not been. They quickly arrest and investigate later when it comes to members of the opposition. I also have been arrested countless times. You know, I'm still appearing in court for the 2020 charges. You know, ever since the establishment of the political party, I've been arrested in Cholocho, Chimanimani, Harare, Nyanga, everywhere I go, I get arrested. Half the time I'm arrested before any investigation. And then, of course, you are eventually acquitted, but they would have wasted all your years. Right now, I don't have my passport. I don't have nothing because they've seized everything. So you see this clearly uneven electoral playing field, that if we are to get into any election under the current circumstances, it's not going to be a stroll in the park. It's going to be impossible. It's going to be impossible. The conditions currently are impossible for a fair game. Yeah. And so we're saying, let's fight for electoral reform. So that's top on the list of our priorities, Transform Zimbabwe, to say, let's fight for an even electoral playing field.
Electoral reforms, yes, it's not just Transform Zimbabwe that is speaking about those. We know a lot of opposition political parties are saying we need electoral reforms. But I think it will be beneficial for us and even the viewers to say, from the lenses of your party, what specific issues with regards to electoral reforms would you say these are the issues that we need dealt with as we are going into 2023?
Exactly. You see, the SADC guidelines and principles to free and fair elections, they actually is a schedule that gives guidance to SADC countries on how to run elections. And I think it should be, one of the articles should be Article 11, talks about media reforms, that all contesting candidates should have access to public media. For your own information, do you know that we are the only country in the world which has got one television station? You know, Somalia has got more television stations than Zimbabwe. Would you believe it? You know, Afghanistan, for your own information, you know, they are doing better than Zimbabwe. You see, and if you, I was watching television, I mean, the first 4 or 5 minutes, I normally try. You know, I try hard to say, let me watch. Then you watch it, it's all about Idi Mnangagwa, his wife Auxilia, and General Chiwenga once in a while. So those are the 3 people you see on national television, 1 hour. And then if anything about the opposition is slay, these guys are that, you know, and they hardly come out. I hardly watch Nelson Chamisa as the leader of the opposition in this country. You hardly watch him on national television. You know, so we want media reforms. It's one of the clear reform that we need. Equal access to public media. Public media is very powerful. I mean, it has got the biggest reach. And of course, this other day on the trade fair, I was watching them saying ZTV has won an award of being the best television. Who did they compete against? You know, in the public space. See, so we need equal access You know,
so probably they say they're competing against ZTN.
You see, and look at you now, you know, and ZTN is a recent establishment, you know, it's a recent establishment after all, you see. So that's the problem. And not only that, you also need to make sure that all the institutions that run elections are unbiased. You know, you talk of your Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. The commission must be independent. That's what the SADC guidelines to free and fair elections say.
What are the issues with ZEC? Because when we listen to the discourse at the moment, you can quickly draw and a conclusion that the 2023 election is already disputed because of the ZEC factor. What are the issues there?
You know, ZEC has got many issues. Perfect. ZEC has got many issues. You see, ZEC is militarized. You know, I have been to ZEC. You know, some of my colleagues in here went with me. You know, that place is completely cordoned off by the police and what have you. But within ZEC itself, you know, within the leadership of ZEC itself, you see a heavy hand of the military. The military should stay out of our electoral processes. They should stay in the barracks.
But the argument is that most of those that are coming from the military are retired. So they have a right like anyone else to be there.
No, and that's why they're identified as retired brigadier so and so. It shows, I mean, once in the military, the fact that you're a brigadier, you stay loyal to the military and the principles that come from within the military. And why would they be looking at the retired military personnel and fill them in with ZEC? And not only that, now we also understand and we all know as Zimbabweans that now they are moving in family of top ZANU PF leadership into ZEC. That again is compromising ZEC. Absolutely. ZEC is completely compromised. And ZEC is full of people who are sympathetic to ZANU PF. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. They are connected either through business, through this and that, to the cartel. And
how are these, Jacob, how are these people finding their way to the levers of power in ZEC, to the positions in ZEC? Do you think it's an issue of the process? If it is, what do we need to do with that process that then leads people to have those positions?
That's a good one. That's a good one, my brother. Because how do you find? See,
yeah.
It all happens, it's well choreographed because this is how criminal states operate. Oligarchies, this is how they operate. They make sure that they control all the levers of power. Remember Jonathan Moyo used to say, how do you expect us to reform ourselves out of power? You know, they make sure that they fill up their people in ZEC, in the justice system as well. You know, they make sure that there are people sympathetic to the ruling regime. You know, so it's so deliberate. Everything is done deliberately where they put these men and women to occupy and control that space so that they make it impossible for any alternative voice. And for us to confront that, it doesn't only take us to the process, because the process is compromised and rigged. They already have enough parliament, because these processes also go through parliament, you know, but they have got already enough leverage to make sure that they block and pass whatever they want. So what it means is, what we are left with as citizens is extrajudicial means and processes. You know, we were talking about Kembo Mohadi's daughter finding her way to ZEC. Where we take it as citizens is to say, you can't go to the processes because the process is rigged already. You know, it's already rigged the way they structure the process. So we can come in as citizens and say, okay, fine, we've got this issue, we want her out of ZEC. And then we get into the streets. I'm a man of action. I believe in action because politics, especially in Africa, can only make a move out of action. I believe in action. Let's get into the streets and say we are saying no to her being part of ZEC. And then we get into the streets, we demonstrate. And then they will give in. And when they give in, you tick and say, fine, this is done. That's the only way. As citizens, the only way we can change things is by demonstrations, and of course, where we can use the courts, but the courts are compromised. You know, I've been a victim of a compromised court system in this country. You know, I recently got at the court, we got a decline of one of our applications by the magistrates court, and we want to appeal to the High Court. And then for the past 3 weeks, they could not give us a typed record for us to go to the High Court. And then meanwhile, we've got 3 weeks to appeal. So the whole system is compromised. So what we always have to go back to what is in our power as empowered by the Constitution, which is protesting and getting into the streets. That's the only way out.